Look at that beautiful, beautiful autumn color. Welcome back to another Sunday walk video. Yeah, autumn is here. Nice cool breeze, but the color is beautiful. Anyways, what am I going to talk about today? To be honest, I don't have a whole lot to talk about today that I haven't talked about yesterday or this past week, but I'll try to come up with something. But right now, as I'm filming this, Bitcoin is back above 68,000 and we're still looking good. Overall, we're still looking good. I will say that a lot of alts are still looking quite weak. So I think that's the biggest narrative for this week, along with Bitcoin. So I'll share more thoughts about those. But right now, you know, Bitcoin is still looking good. I know a lot of people are still kind of like talking about when Uptober is here, when is Uptober going to start. But I think those people are the ones that are wondering about alts in general, which is true because a lot of alts have gotten weaker in October, to be quite frank. But if you're a Bitcoiner, you know that it's already here. Bitcoin at 68,000 is certainly higher than where we started at the beginning of the month, and certainly higher than last month. And 68,000 was definitely higher than the last cycle. In fact, last cycle, yes, we topped out at 69,000, but briefly, very briefly. So we're now trending along. Our moving average is definitely higher than last year's cycle already. Obviously, we were higher this year. In March, we broke through 73,000. We broke through 70,000 a couple times. So we're still below that, but all things considering, we're less than 5% away from all-time high. And it's just a matter of time before we break through. So we're in pretty good shape. We still got basically 1 week left for October. I'm still clinging on hope that this week is going to be good. Like I said at the beginning of the month, Uptober is not over until October is over. So this week, very good things could happen. We could break into an all-time high. We could certainly hit 75,000. And if we do, we could certainly hit 80,000. There's no reason why we can't. Looking at the liquidated heat maps, it does look like we just got a little bit of pressure going into about like 69,000-ish. Nothing until 70,000, and after 70,000 it's like pretty clear. So this week is a good week for the broader markets, and we get a little more buying pressure for Bitcoin. No reason why by the end of this week we can't break into a new high, which means, of course, Uptober would be here, right? So yeah, so like I said, I think a lot of people are disappointed so far with October because of the alt performance. If you're a pure Bitcoiner, you'd be sitting pretty happy. Even though last week, like I said yesterday in my crypto cruise, last week we had a few volatile moments, like on Friday, all of a sudden we dipped down. You know, little dips here or there. I think primarily it's just like drive out the longs, really, to like cause a couple long squeezes. Other than that, if you're just like long-term holder, like it's just a blip. It doesn't mean anything because we're right back to 68,000 plus. But overall, we've been just like slowly trending upwards in October. So Bitcoin has been doing well this month, but the alts I recognize have been doing quite bad. with the exception of two, Solana and Jupiter. And the two obviously relate, but I did notice within the last couple of weeks, Solana is gaining strength, it's gaining, and Jupiter is as well. Solana is like closing at 180 once again. Jupiter is above $1. Both are gaining a lot of strength right now. So that's pretty good. But outside of Solana and Jupiter and several others on Solana's ecosystem, the others have not done well. I've been paying attention. For example, like Avalanche, one of my favorites, have not moved at all. In fact, I think it has gone down in October. Ton has been really weak. AI like Fetch has been really weak. Several others, really. XRP obviously not moving. Near is not moving. Cardano is not moving. Really, if you're looking at it, a lot of the memes that pumped a little bit, they all dump back down. They're not really gaining momentum at all. So I'm talking about like Pepe, Whiff, Bonk, some of the newer ones. Was it Popcat, Mog, all these ones that saw like little stints of pumps, they all like dumped down too. So like there's no sustained rallies for any of these guys. Really, it's really Solana right now. So a lot of you guys may be wondering, well, what's going on? Like, why are the alts not moving? Well, right now I think it is what it is. Bitcoin is led by the institutions right now. I cover all the reasons why institutions, companies, countries, they are FOMOing into Bitcoin, right? The ETF inflows, they mean something. The countries that are adopting Bitcoin, they mean something. Microsoft and Sailor and everyone else, they mean something. That's why Bitcoin is so darn steady and why it just continues to creep up. This is all having a cumulative effect, right? These are things I've been talking about for years. People may ask, like, oh, why is Bitcoin not pumping? Well, it's not dumping either. Bitcoin is holding steady and continues to go higher slowly but surely because of all the big money coming in. But guess what? Retail still seems to be quite scared. That's why a lot of these other alts, these chains, these games, AI, DePIN, DeFi, they're not really following right now because retail investors are still kind of on the sidelines, scared. They see some of the manipulation, some of the volatile moments, and they get scared out. They're like, oh my God, right? Right now, we haven't seen those sustained rallies, those mini altcoin seasons. We haven't seen those since like March and April. So retail is still quite scared to jump back in, even though I think many are anticipating that this is around the time when we get a rally, especially leading into like a Santa rally and what happens after elections and so forth. I think many are anticipating there will be one coming, but there are still many that are just too afraid to come back in, right? But I do think we will see that retail influx come in when you see Bitcoin form a new high and continue further. I think it's just natural. Once retail sees that Bitcoin continues to move forward along like the progression, I guess, of previous cycles, like everything I've been talking about, like all the fractal patterns that I've been showing over the course of the year, I think once more and more retail sees how it's more of the same, even with a new cycle, with new FUD, with new, I don't know, new variables. Bitcoin ultimately just continues to move the same way and continues to move higher, and 2025 will be a fantastic year regardless. I think once retail finally accepts that, the money will flow in and we'll go into the alts and AI and games and DePIN and DeFi and everything else in between, and that's when you will see these alts really come back to life, right? That's probably when it'll happen. But this is why I've always said, don't go too heavy into alts. Make sure you have a good balance. Try to at least follow the 50-25-25 rule. 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps, 25% in small caps. So during situations like this, when Bitcoin is doing well or rallies and everything else does not, at least you'll gain from it, right? If you're at like 100% of alts right now, you're not doing too well, unless you're 100% of Solana. But even Solana is not like, still, even though it's doing well, it's not that close to its all-time high. I think it's closer. I think its all-time high is like 250. So there's still ways to go. But there are many alts that are still like 85, 90, 95% off from its high. So they are still way off. But don't lose hope. I've been showing a lot more charts recently about what has happened in 2021, where it also look the same, where a lot of these alts look pretty dire until like the last few months of 2021, and they like skyrocketed. Could be the same thing in 2025 too. But anyways, that's all. I know Uptober is disappointing to some, mostly due to the people that are just holding majority of alts. But if you're a Bitcoiner, or you're a Bitcoin maxi, or you're just holding a good amount of Bitcoin, October has been pretty good. I don't know what else to say about it, but just look at the background, the scenery, the colors. It is getting a little chilly, I will say that. A little chilly, but it's nice. I'd rather be a little chilly than a little hot, to be honest. I'd rather be like 50s right now than say high 80s or 90s. I'd much rather be a little chilly than be sweating my ass off, so that's for sure. All right, that's it. Like I said, we got this week left. Of course, we have some economic numbers. The market last week was kind of mixed. We had some bad days, we had some good days. Tech still did really well. Nvidia went higher, MicroStrategy went higher. I think overall tech did well. We're getting closer and closer to elections. We're only, after this week, I think we're only 1 week away. So that's going to be a big catalyst moving forward. I'm wondering what's going to happen this week. And even after elections, we have another FOMC meeting. So I think all these economic data are going to have an effect, because the next rate cut is coming. Even though it's pretty much baked in, 25 basis points, who knows? Maybe something more drastic will happen. But that's it. I'm going to finish the rest of this walk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my crypto cruise yesterday. I picked a normal car this time. And yes, I still believe minivans are very underrated. They're fantastic. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tomorrow, usual time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? And let's see if we could break into a new high this week. We're so close. We're not that far off, less than 5%. And we can do that in a single day. We just need a bit more short squeezes to happen, and we're right there. All right, guys, have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.